360 for April 10th, 2018. I'm Jennifer Evans.
And I'm Allie Gold. Tonight on Triad News 360, the newest fad in dating and fast food on the run.
Dating, the art of meeting people to find and cultivate love.
It doesn't matter your age, getting up the nerve to ask someone out for the first time, it makes everyone's hands sweaty.
Triad News 360 reporter Sydney Goldberg joins us with the latest scoop on online dating. Sydney?
Getting someone out to find a place to meet and then getting up to ask the courage to ask them out. But the internet is here to calm those jitters, as in 1 in 4 couples now meet online.
Dating apps seem to be the ideal way to meet a romantic partner these days. But what is it really like to be on these dating apps?
I've had really good luck with social media apps like dating apps, like scary good luck. I've had 3 relationships that happened off of Tinder.
Tinder can lead you to some pretty crazy experiences. I actually one time met a guy on Tinder and then we jumped off a bridge in the mountains in North Carolina and then we're still in contact today, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we met on Tinder and things have been going great. We've been dating for like 2 years now. How was your day?
It was good. How was yours?
It was good. I'm about to go to class, but I just wanted to call you and tell you I love you.
I love you too.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
So when you look at the statistics on online dating, it actually shows that relationships that start online, whether we're using dating apps or dating websites, can be as successful, if not even more successful, than relationships that meet in person.
However, other users have had negative experiences with dating apps such as Tinder and Bumble.
Okay, so I was talking to a couple of guys on Bumble and I realized that they were brothers and I pulled up the roster. Turns out one is a senior on the baseball team and the other one is a sophomore. And they were both talking to me at the same time and I don't know if they knew.
Whether you have good or bad dating app experience, it is prevalent that Tinder and Bumble are popular amongst college students today. I'm Sydney Goldberg for HPU TV. More and more people are turning to the internet to find that special someone, but regardless of the technology help, you still have to get up the nerve and ask. Jennifer, Allie?
The internet does make trying to find someone somewhat easier, but you still have to make contact and ask them out first.
Online dating definitely has changed the dating world. For better or for worse, the world may never know. When it comes to outside food vendors, people think of tents, small outdoor grills, or at worst, lukewarm hot dogs swimming in a cart.
But nowadays, people can get almost anything they want at any event they want, all because of a food truck.
Triad News 360 reporter Lexi Davis sampled the offerings.
Great people of all ages from the Triad area were packed in the Mendenhall Transportation Terminal in High Point. They were all delighted with the aroma of all the sweet and savory tastes of some pretty fun treats, like pizza, tacos, and mini donuts.
Hi, I'm eating some carnita tacos I got from the Azteca stand right over there. And by stand, I mean truck.
There were 16 different food trucks at the food truck rodeo that were packed bumper to bumper.
Good music, good food. The beer line is pretty long.
They had free face painting, balloon animals, and of course, beer with some live entertainment. It's not white tablecloths, but some even think it's better.
Taqueria Azteca, and we're from Greensboro, North Carolina, and we come to all the food truck festivals in the Triad, and all throughout the states. We've been to Wilmington, Virginia, and South Carolina, and we've been doing this for about 6 years now.
Even the sloppy nachos at the Bacon Essence food truck were hard to resist.
So we decided to sponsor this event. It brings the community together. We support local charities and believe that bringing everybody together supports a worthwhile cause.
Food trucks have become a phenomenon all over the country for all kinds of events.
Each of them vending anything from exotic foods, sweets, and specialty beverages. Those food trucks are becoming a huge trend.
But if you missed out on this event, don't worry, because food trucks will be everywhere as the weather turns warmer.
Daylight savings time transitions regularly prompt upset sleep cycles. While springing forward, the body needs more time to change to the new sleep cycle, which may cause drowsiness the following day.
Because of this, lawmakers in Florida have been discussing to abolish daylight savings altogether. Triad News 360 reporter Sydney Goldberg has more on the story.
What does daylight savings mean for your alarm clocks? Florida Governor Rick Scott just recently signed a year-round daylight savings bill.
I think the time change is great. I think that more available light so you don't need to use energy, as well as the fact that we can be productive all day and maximize the opportunities of what we can get done.
I'm looking forward to it being lighter at night and then darker in the morning because then I can sleep in longer.
Florida is just one step away from living up to its nickname as the Sunshine State. Others have negative things to say about the change.
You know, I'm not a really big fan of the time change. I think that it's going to throw off the TV schedule. Primetime games on Sunday and Monday night are going to start later at like 9:30 and not going to end till 1, and that's going to throw off my sleep schedule.
But it's far from a done deal. The U.S. Congress would need to pass a law allowing Florida to be exempt from the federal uniform time zones. And if approved, it would affect everything from your commute to your sleep.
According to Journalist Resource, a scientific study found that daylight savings in the spring, we lose an hour of sleep, shows an increase in car accidents and heart attacks within the first few days of the change.
Hawaii and most of Arizona has said goodbye to daylight savings time, and soon Florida may just join in that list. Coming up next on Triad News 360, more on the opioid epidemic.
And later, stay tuned for the local team with the hardest schedule in the country. We'll be right back.
How am I going to pay for this? Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
I'm Jennifer Evans.
And I'm Allie Gold. Tonight we have a special segment on the drug problem happening in the city of High Point.
Triad News 360 reporter Paris Dunford and Ashley Brooke Daniels joined us in studio to give us a full story. But first, Triad News 360 talked with Deputy Dylan Weiser, who described
is sweeping the country. Opioid addiction is sweeping the country and leaving wrecked families in its wake.
Law enforcement has done all that it can to handle it, and it is not giving up anytime soon. I spoke with the people who put on the uniforms and take up the fight.
Our nation is going through a crisis. The opioid epidemic is something that is impacting states and counties all over our country. 316 overdoses were recorded in the High Point area last year in 2017. Here I am standing in front of Caring Services, which is a recovery program for people who are wishing to change their lifestyles. I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels reporting for Triad News 360.
Can you see him?
Go ahead.
From 1999 to 2016, more than 12,000 North Carolinians died from opioid-related overdoses, according to the North Carolina Health and Human Services.
This crisis began as prescription drugs were prescribed at higher doses and more often, which led to an epidemic ending with heroin addicts.
High Point is one of the North Carolinian cities that is truly struggling.
High Point is considered the heroin capital of North Carolina, according to High Point Deputy Shannon Payne, with 316 opioid-related deaths in 2017 and 51 already in the year of 2018.
The majority of the people abusing these types of drugs are white females and males, and the demographic that has been seen, that 300 deaths out of the 316.
The most devastating factor is that some children were present to witness these overdoses that resulted in death. 22 out of the 316 of deaths were seen by children.
This epidemic is also making our streets even more unsafe, with 14 traffic accidents in the 2017 involved overdosing at the wheel. The opioid epidemic is not only causing problems for law enforcement, but it is devastating families and communities.
Triad News 360 has a story on one family that was ruined by addiction.
Is an average 20-year-old living away at college. Her family life, however, isn't so average.
My mother is a drug addict, and she has been abusing painkillers since I was in 5th grade about.
Goldstein's mother's addiction started by using her children's medications.
Her drug addiction essentially split up my parents. My mom cheated on my dad, and my parents are now divorced. So it has completely torn apart my family.
Goldstein believes that people need to be more cautious when it comes to drugs.
The drugs started with my brother. Actually, my younger brother is severely ADHD, and he is prescribed Adderall and Concerta. And my dad noticed he was doing really bad in school, and my dad checked his pills one day, and they were all gone, and he hadn't been taking pills for like the last 6 months. My mom was taking them.
Goldstein believes that people need to be more cautious when it comes to drugs.
Something that people really need to be aware about, and how I don't think people understand how hereditary it really is. I know, like, I always watch myself.
Morgan hasn't talked to her mom in over 2 years, but her mother's addiction has really brought her brothers and dad to be closer than ever. I'm Paris Dunford, reporting for Triad News 360.
Morgan's mother has been 2 years clean, but the damage her addiction has caused to her and her daughter's relationship cannot be repaired.
Morgan mentioned that her mom would go away months at a time to rehab, which caused her to be absent from her children's young years.
Organizations like Caring Services in High Point are trying to give these citizens the help they need. Teresa Hinkle, the Program Development Director at Caring Services, explained to Triad News 360 how the organization is a 2-year program for low-income to no-income addicts. They do not accept any form of health insurance, and they are the only organization in High Point that provides housing for the program. Hinkle says that a majority of the people they receive as patients started abusing prescription medications from their wisdom teeth surgery or a high school sports injury.
In my interview with Deputy Dylan Wiesner, he told me that these entities such as government, law enforcement, and rehab centers need to work together to end this problem.
According to North Carolina Health and Human Services, they are working on connecting people to preventative health care, substance use disorder treatment, and community support.
To combat for this issue, North Carolina government came up with the North Carolina Opioid Action Plan, which began in 2017 and ends in 2021.
Some strategies in the plan include reducing the oversupply of prescription opioids and reducing the diversion of prescription drugs and the flow of illicit drugs.
The government is also looking to the community for the help, and they plan to include the increasing awareness and prevention, making naloxone the combat drug for opioids widely available.
Throughout the action plan, they will be measuring the effectiveness of these strategies based on these results. This plan is considered a living document, and changes can be made as the government seems fit.
Hopefully, this crisis can be combated and community partners can work together. Thank you for joining us for our special segment on the opioid epidemic. I'm Ashley Brooke-Daniels.
And I'm Paris Dunford. Back to you, Jennifer and Allie.
Thank you, Ashley, Brooke, and Paris, for the in-depth look on the opioid crisis in our neighborhoods.
Coming up next on Triad News 360, we'll be looking at a team with the toughest schedule in the country, and they're right here in our Triad.
And more on High Point University sports. We'll be right back.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
I want to eat apples and bananas.
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hello and welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Jennifer Evans.
And I'm Allie Gold. Tonight we are going to have a deeper look at High Point University's men's lacrosse team. Imagine losing game after game against some of the toughest competitors in the country. There is a local team in the Triad area that knows what it is like to battle back when the odds are against them.
Triad News 360 reporters Cassidy O'Brien and Shannon Cox were able to give us a closer look at a brotherhood like no other.
Maryland picks up the ball. Here comes the shot. It's scored.
Cavaliers winning the face-off battle. Here's a quick shot and score.
He's in front of the cage. 1-0 Blue Devils. Seconds into this one, and Duke has the early lead.
Dedication, perseverance, ambition. This is High Point University's men's lacrosse team. They have competed against some of the highest-ranked teams this season. Senior attacker Connor Robinson feels those tough games have made them stronger than ever before.
I mean, everyone hates losing games, but I mean, we have, by statistical records, the toughest schedule in Division I lacrosse. At the beginning of the season, it started off pretty rocky. We didn't win any games until a couple weeks ago, but I mean, we battled back. We're keeping fighting. No one has a quitting mentality in our team, and we're all still bought in and believe that we can still come back and win the SoCon advance to the NCAA tournament.
This team has never lost hope in themselves, and senior Jason Ashwood described to us what this team has meant to him these past 4 years.
It's meant the world to me, you know. These other seniors, they're my best friends, and when you spend basically every waking second with a group of guys and you go through the stuff that we do, they become your brothers and your family.
Dedication, perseverance, ambition. Reporting for Triad News 360, this is Shannon Cox and Cassidy O'Brien.
Looking ahead, the High Point University men's lacrosse team will continue their fight in hopes that they will advance to the men's NCAA tournament. They hope to clinch their next victory on their home turf against VMI this upcoming Friday, April 13th.
Thanks, Cassidy O'Brien and Shannon Cox, for the story.
High Point University sports are a big part of this campus.
Joining us in studio is Triad News 360 reporter Nick Zorian with this week's sports. Nick?
Thanks, Jennifer and Allie. The High Point University women's lacrosse team defeated the 19th ranked Blue Devils 16-12 on Monday night at Vert Stadium. The 20th ranked Panthers were led by freshman Abby Horms with 6 goals, while Maggie Williams led the team in assists with 4. The win brought the Panthers' record to 10-2. It was the Panthers' second win over a nationally ranked team this season, having defeated Notre Dame in March. The Panthers returned to action on Wednesday afternoon at Presbyterian. The HPU men's lacrosse team looks to get their 3rd straight win this Friday as they face off against VMI at Vert Stadium. With wins over Jacksonville and Furman, High Point has improved to 3-7 on the season. The Panthers are led by Connor Robinson, who has 33 points throughout the season. The HPU baseball team brought home its first conference sweep of the season against Charleston Southern this weekend. The Panthers blasted 8 home runs for the series, starting Friday with Austin Zente and Blake Shuck, each homering for the 3rd time in the past 4 games. Saturday, HPU cranked out 6 home runs to set a school record for most homers in a game. High Point is now 9-3 in conference, its best 12-game start in the Big South since joining the league in 2006. The HPU men's and women's track and field teams hosted their 10th annual Vert class meet on Friday at Vert Stadium. For the men, Hassan Bushrak won the 3,000-meter steeplechase ahead of teammate Alejandro Juan Torres, who took 2nd, while Ciro Pino Cardona won the 800 meters. The HPU women had a total of 5 podium finishes at the Vert class meet. Famke Heinst won her first career 3,000-meter steeplechase race in time of 10 minutes and 11 seconds. Sienna Sopper placed 2nd in the javelin, while Natalie Elliott finished 3rd in the pole vault. Next up, the Panthers will compete in the North Carolina A&T Aggie Invite on April 13th to 14th. The High Point men's golf team finished up play in the ECU Intercollegiate on Tuesday. Sophomore Brendan McDougall shot a 75 in the final round and finished tied for 14th overall. The Panthers will participate in the Mason Rudolph Invitational this weekend at Vanderbilt. The High Point women's golf team finished 13th at the Charleston Invitationals Tuesday in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Tonrak Tasaso led the Panthers by placing in a tie for 20th overall at 5 over par. Up next, the Panthers will compete at the Big South Championships at the Patriot Golf Club in 96, South Carolina this weekend. That's all for sports. Back to you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Nick, for the update on HPU Sports. Well, thank you for joining us here at Triad News 360. I'm Jennifer Evans.
And I'm Allie Gold. Have a good night, High Point.